Everyone's watching the Strait of Hormuz. The burning tankers, the blocked oil, and $166 a barrel crude. But there's another strait, smaller, quieter, further north, that could end up being the single most powerful card the United States plays to get Israel to stand down. It's called the Strait of Tiran. And most people have completely forgotten about it. The Strait of Tiran sits between Sinai Peninsula and the Arabian Peninsula, connecting the Gulf of Aqaba to Red Sea. It's barely 6 kilometers wide at its narrowest point. Small and very easy to miss on a map. But here's why it matters. The Strait of Tiran is the only gateway to Israel's only Red Sea port, Eilat, and it sits under the international guarantees that go all the way back to Camp David Accords. Now, Eilat isn't Haifa. It isn't Tel Aviv's port of Ashdod, but it's Israel's southern front door to Asia and East Africa. The port was designed specifically so Israeli shipping could reach the Indian Ocean without having passing through the Suez Canal. It's the route that keeps minerals, chemicals and trade flowing through south and east. And right now, that door is effectively shut. So here's where we are today. Eilat's port shut down already in July 2025 because of the Houthi blockade in the Red Sea. Then, in February 2026, the US and Israel launched Operation Epic Fury, killing Iran's supreme leader and igniting the war we are all watching right now. Iran retaliated effectively by halting shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, with all of the tanker traffic dropping by around 70% and over 150 ships anchoring outside the strait to wait it out. So Israel right now has a Mediterranean coast that keeps taking Iranian and Hezbollah missile fire. The Bazan Group refinery in Haifa that was hit in an Iranian strike, and Hezbollah even confirmed it. It targeted an IDF base in Haifa also, and it has a southern coast that is commercially dead. Basically, Israel is fighting on three fronts simultaneously: Iran, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and the West Bank, while its economy is bleeding. So now, here's where it gets interesting. Israel is not involved in the current push for ceasefire negotiations. In fact, Netanyahu acknowledged Trump's diplomatic efforts, but said Israel would continue striking its enemies for the time being. The Israeli military, meanwhile, at the same time, also wants several weeks to fight. So how does the US convince Israel to accept a ceasefire it does not want? Yes, you give it something that it needs more than just the war. The Strait of Tiran has started two of Israel's biggest wars, in 1956 and then again in 1967. Egypt's closure of the strait was considered a direct act of war by Israel. In 1967, a full 90% of Israeli oil passed through the Strait of Tiran. When Nasser shut it, Israel went to war in the next 6 days. So evidently, the strategic logic hasn't changed, it simply shifted. Now the islands of Tiran and Sanafir are under Saudi sovereignty, transferred from Egypt in 2017 with US support and critically with quiet Israeli consent. Israel's agreement to that transfer confirmed the normalization process between Israel and some Arabic countries. It was a diplomatic signal and also a favor Israel did for Riyadh. So now imagine the US, which is also working with Saudi Arabia, which itself is desperate to end Iranian missile strikes on its territory, guarantees Israel a permanent ironclad freedom of navigation through Tehran, backed by a multinational monitoring force, guaranteed Red Sea access, Eilat reopened, southern trade routes restored. For an Israel that has already lost that port for nearly a year, it's not nothing. In fact, it's economically massive. And now let's talk about Haifa. Within 48 hours of the February 28 strikes, Hezbollah entered the conflict, launched missiles and drones at Haifa. Iran has struck Haifa multiple times. Haifa is Israel's main northern port. It is also where a major Chinese company, Hutchison, operates, a terminal which is already a US security concern even before the war started. Haifa is Israel's economic jugular on the Mediterranean. So if the US can credibly offer Israel a security architecture, Tehran guaranteed in the south, NATO adjacent air defense reinforced in the north around Haifa, and Hezbollah further degraded as a condition of the deal, starts to look like that Israel gets more from this deal than from a few more weeks of strikes. So here's the bottom line. The Strait of Hormuz is the global energy crisis. The Strait of Tiran is Israeli pressure point. Two different straits, two different kinds of leverage. A guaranteed internationally monitored Strait of Tiran, a reopened islet, security assurances around Haifa. That's the shape of the offer that could theoretically get Netanyahu to say, publicly or privately, that the war's objectives have been met. Whether Israel takes it or not is another story entirely. But if the US is serious about an exit ramp, this is exactly where it starts.